Hey everyone, welcome to Bodhi Life Crochet. Today I'm going to be showing you Lion Brand Yarn's Truboo yarn. This is made from 100% rayon from bamboo. It is super soft and squishy. There is 3.5 ounces, which is 241 yards in one ball. It's a lightweight 3 yarn. For knitting needles, you'll need a size S needles. And for crochet, it suggests a size G, which is 4 millimeter. And that's this little guy right here. It says machine, wash cold, gentle cycle, lay flat to dry. So it is a little delicate. This color is called Thistle, and it is a gorgeous purple, it's kind of like a dark lavender color. It does have some sheen to it, so it is a little bit shiny, which I wasn't sure about if I was going to like it or not. This is the Truboo yarn. I've already done a review on this, but you can see how this is way more shiny, and this is more of a matte colored yarn. And yeah, this also has 3.5 ounces in it. This is steel blue, so I'll put a link in the description box for that yarn review if you want to go check it out. But this one is made from, this is 51% cotton, and this one is, yeah, 100% rayon from bamboo. So it's nice and squishy and soft. It looks like it may have some splitting issues, but honestly, what yarn doesn't a lot of the times? So yeah, let's get into it and do a swatch and see what we think. So for this swatch, I just kind of winged it and started with a simple slip knot. If you need help with any kind of crochet basics, I do have a playlist called Crochet 101 that I'll put a link in the bio to if you're a beginner, and it'll show you all the things. Like I'm about to do a chain here to start the swatch. It shows you how to do slip knots, chains, single crochet, double crochet, all of the basics that you'll need to know to start your first crochet projects. So here I'm just starting with a chain, and I'm just going to go across and do some single crochet stitches into the chain and just see how it works up. So to be completely honest, beginning projects for me is not the fun part of crocheting. I usually take a little while to start the foundation chain and everything, and sometimes my hook slips or I catch the yarn on the hook, but this seemed to be flowing along quite nicely. It is a little bit slippery at first because it is that nice soft bamboo rayon type yarn, and it does split a tiny bit, but I did figure out that if you just turn your hook downward completely when you're pulling that stitch through, you're less likely to catch any of the splitting yarn. So here is the first row of single crochets. I think it turned out really nicely. I don't see any leftover pieces of yarn from any yarn splitting. So this next row I'm going to do a row of half double crochets, and I'm just going to keep going up in length of these stitches to see how it works up. So when I started on the row for half double crochet, that's when I figured out that I just needed to start turning my hook downward completely, and what I mean by that is the pointy side that grabs the yarn and brings it through the stitches. I wasn't turning it over completely, and it was grabbing onto the yarn. So this is the row where I had a little bit of difficulty because it took me a minute to realize what I was doing. But if you just take a little bit slower and kind of go back to basics and make sure you're turning that hook downward to bring it through all of the stitches, it is a wonderful yarn to work with. But you can see, yeah, I missed like a little tiny piece there. And I think it just comes with the flow of things as well. And you know, most yarns are made with multiple strands woven together, and especially something so delicate like this bamboo yarn, it doesn't come to much of surprises to me, but yeah, it just takes a little bit extra mindfulness when you're doing these foundation stitches, and then you kind of get a hang of it. So here is what it looks like after one row of single crochet and one row of half double crochet, and I'm just going to keep on moving, and I'm going to chain 3 and turn my work and do double crochets. So after working through some double crochets, the flow started coming to, and I think it's because, you know, after the first few rows, that's actually when I start doing a little bit better with whatever stitch I'm working with, and I do prefer longer stitches like double crochet and treble crochet. I really love those stitches. So you can see I'm finally turning my hook over so I'm not catching any yarn, and it's able to flow without catching. Oh, a little bit there. But again, you know, most yarns are multiple strands woven in together, and honestly this yarn is so delicate that I think it's honestly worth the extra mindfulness, because your finished project is so pretty, which you'll see. I'm going to do a different stitch after these basic ones. I'm going to do the fan stitch and the V-stitch from one of my last patterns called the Midheaven Market bag, and also the Cross My Heart bag. So here I'm trying to show the drape and how it's already presenting itself after the first few rows. I couldn't believe that it was actually starting to drape at all after just a few rows, so I got really excited and wanted to start doing a different stitch pattern and see what would come of it. So I think this is where I begin the V-stitch pattern. So if you would like to find out this stitch pattern, I'll put a link in my bio for the other 2 bags that I was just talking about, the Cross My Heart crochet bag as well as the Midheaven Market bag. Both of those use this stitch that I'm about to show you in this swatch. So here's our swatch after that first row of the new stitch pattern. This is the V-stitch and the fan stitch. And what I'm going to do is just continue this pattern and make a little rectangular swatch so we can see how it drapes a little bit more and how it keeps working up. So here's going to be the second row of this exact same stitch pattern, but we're just going to work it kind of backwards. So inside of this V-stitch, I'm going to work a fan stitch, and then above the fan stitch, I will work a V-stitch. So here's a good example of just showing you the opposites of these stitches, and here is just that little piece of yarn sticking out. I think in the next row I will be able to cover it up with another stitch, so I'm not really worried about that. Here is what the swatch looks like after that row 2 of this stitch pattern, and you can already see the drape. It is just so lovely and so delicate. Don't worry about my edges here. This was just a really quick swatch, so it is not super pretty, but yeah, I'm just going to keep on going so we can get a larger swatch and see what it looks like. That's just kind of the whole point of this video, is to show different stitches with this type of yarn. I know when I'm looking for new yarns, I don't always use basic stitches for my projects, so I thought it would be cool to use this stitch pattern. And I just love this stitch pattern. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it. I think it's because it's such just classic crochet stitches, and they just work so well together. So after that last row of the fan and V-stitch, I just decided to do one more row of double crochet stitches to finish off the swatch. Do not worry about my edges. Again, they do not look pretty right now. I just really wanted to show the drape of this yarn and see how it works up with different types of stitches. It is a little bit stretchy, so beware of that with sizing and your choice in hook. But it is beautiful when it stretches because you can just really see those nice stitch patterns. It's very lightweight. I think this would be a gorgeous like spaghetti strap type tank top, something really delicate and flowy. I'm hoping to actually make some kind of tank top out of this specific yarn, so keep an eye out for that pattern. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments box below. Let me know if you have worked with this yarn, what you think of it. Again, it's called Truboo by Lion Brand Yarn. It's 100% rayon from bamboo, and I highly recommend it if you are looking for something delicate and different. Again, I have another yarn review for their Kobu yarn, which is more of a matte if you're not into the sheen look. But this one I think has a lot more drape than the Kobu. But we will see when I make the tank top that I'm thinking about. So I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, leave a comment, like, subscribe, let me know what you think, and we'll see you back here next time. Happy crocheting!